Friends, there's just some things that social media people, especially Christian women like myself who put ourselves out there, we're not being completely upfront and truthful with you. And it isn't just the dirty house behind the camera that maybe doesn't get seen, but it actually goes a lot deeper and is really, really important for those of us who profess to be followers of Christ, because this one key thing has to be understood before any of it is actually going to come together. I think if there's one thing we're really looking for to see here on YouTube and social media in general, it's just more transparency in life. Because honestly, showing the end result without the struggle and the depth can be very, very misleading. And something that we really need to understand and apply, especially as Christian women, especially with Christian women who are on social media, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it might be, when we are missing this key component. You can show all the lovely stuff, you can show the end results, you can show all of the, wonderful highlight reels, but this is misleading people when this gets left out. And as ambassadors of Christ, right, as professing believers here to be that light into the world, we have to make sure that we are remembering that depth and being transparent in all the ways that we can, and remembering that it's God getting the glory and not us getting the glory. That's what our goal here should be. And so I'm not saying that I'm innocent of all these points we're going to go through. I know that I myself have even maybe leaned too far on one side and have missed the mark. And that's why I think it's important to share about these things. And so I'm really excited and so I would love to share about this here with you all today. I've got a little special something that I've been building and putting together for you. So be sure to watch till the end because it's a fun little freebie pack. We've got it all put together and I'm going to leave you all those details. But let's dive into this. Christian women on social media, we're misleading you. We're not telling you something and we're going to cover it today. Especially as women, as wives, as moms, friends, sisters, it's so important that we understand that the basis to all that we do in life truly comes from that deep understanding of godly love in all the things that we do, right? We can have the prettiest home, the most Instagram-worthy family, that whatever it might be, but when we're missing that key component, none of this has any depth. None of it has any true value. There might be little things, snippets here and there that you can pick up, but when we don't bring it back to that foundational component, we really are missing the mark. And so thinking of Christian women on social media, right? There's the unseen battles. The things that maybe you don't see coming through in a YouTube video, in a, TikTok or a reel or Instagram short, whatever it might be, right? Like you don't see those things. And maybe there's a deeper reason why they're not being shown, and that's fine. Just because you put stuff out doesn't mean every ounce of your life has to be played out on a platform. But when we look at these women that we see on social media, especially those professing believers that are out there, we have to remember the unseen battles. We have to remember the testimony that's currently happening right now, the way that the Lord is working in their lives, that's growing them, that's transforming them, that's refining them, and whatever it is that they're going through. And I think it's important for us as those creating things to remember how important that is, to remember how it all goes back to the love of the Lord. And if we are not remembering that in our own lives, we're not encouraging others to do the same, I think we're missing out. And so for us as the consumers, right, watching these different things, whether it's someone in your life, someone at church, someone you're watching online, to remember that there are unseen battles going on. And it's okay if that person isn't necessarily showing you everything, but to remember that everybody has their battles. Everybody has their things that they're going through. And it's okay if we can't maybe see them on the outside, but it's important to remember that we all have struggles. We all have issues. We all have those things that we're dealing with and that process of sanctification that we're going through. And we've got to bring it back to that foundational love of the Lord to work through for ourselves and then to go and pour out into others as well. The other thing that you might not be told by all of the Christian women that are out there on social media showing you their perfect life and their wonderful Bible study time and all the other stuff, we have to remember that it's an illusion of a perfect life. Because behind every camera is a teenage son playing NASCAR and a bunch of blankets on the couch and stuff that needs to be dealt with. The perfect life is an illusion because it's not real. Friends, there's no such thing as a perfect life. There isn't, right? There was one perfect person and he came and willingly gave himself, right? Like that is it. None of us have a perfect life. And I know for me, I love trying to share as much just transparent, raw, real, like life isn't perfect. If you think my life is perfect, it certainly isn't. I enjoy it. I'm thankful for it. I'm content in what life I have, but it's not perfect. And so when you see those out there that are just presenting this perfect life, or maybe you feel that's what they're trying to present, I think it's really, really important to remember that that's not true. It's an illusion. I think so often we watch these things and things look so perfect, right? Their homes on Instagram are always clean. There's never anything broken or messy. Everybody's always smiling. They always look perfect. There's all of those ideas that we kind of get fed to us. And then I think that really does a lot internally in showing us, well, what am I doing wrong? Does God not love me like he loves them? Because look how blessed they are and how much I'm struggling. We start nitpicking apart our lives because they're not as perfect as A, B, or C over here. A perfect life is an illusion. There's no such thing. We are all messy, flawed individuals, absolutely needing the Lord's love and grace and forgiveness with us because we're all flawed. And that's okay. So I think it's really important for us to remember that what you see, is as real as whatever it is, that they're choosing to show, but we're only seeing the highlight reel. The things that you see in those little boxes, right? The little clips and things, they're curated, they're put together in a specific way. I know I'm really excited. We're going to do a very realistic home tour at the end of this week. People had asked for it and we said, we're going to do it, but we're going to do like the real life version and not the like perfectly curated. So if you guys want to see that, we're planning to have that come out this Friday. Be sure when you hit subscribe, turn on the little bell notification so you'll see it when it comes out. But perfect life is an illusion. You are not less than if your life is not as perfect as someone on social media might have their life looking. Now, it is so incredibly important as believers, and I think especially as women, just being that core component of a home, be it with your spouse, with your children, family, friends, whomever it is that the Lord has put into your life. But we need to be growing in biblical love. We need to understand what that is, what that means, and how one does that. And I think it's so important, again, to focus on that aspect. I can share with you our homeschool day. I can share with you a homemaker day. I can share with you homesteading. I can share with you, just points of growing in your walk with the Lord and all of these wonderful, lovely things. We have a million, people put out unboxing videos and, all these things all the time. And there's great things that we can gather from that, sure. But when we're missing that key component of biblical love in our lives, it makes everything else so shallow. I could show homeschool stuff for days. If I don't have that biblical love and that isn't being, shown throughout me, then my kids are missing a huge piece that they need. I can talk about, Christian marriage and all of these other things, but if we don't have that true biblical love there, if we don't understand true patience, kindness, selflessness, forgiveness, right? If we're missing those points, then we're always going to have that piece in us that just feels incomplete. It's lacking. Something's not right. And I know for us, I'm so excited because this month we're going to go into this topic in depth over in our membership group where we have Bible studies and reading challenges and just a place of community and fellowship to really dig in deeper to these really important topics. And if this is something for you, just understanding the depth of biblical love and how the Lord loves you and how you can in turn truly love others in your life, if that's an area that you would like to dig in more, you would like to know, leave me a comment down below. I'll put a link in the description so you guys can go and check that out. Again, if it can be a blessing for you, it's there to be just that, because growing in biblical love is so incredibly important and will cause great fulfillment in all aspects of our lives, because that's the core of it that we have to have in order for all the other things to truly be those lovely things that we see. You have to address the root. Now, we cannot forget then to put that biblical love into action. You might feel like you're in the trenches right now. Your kids are little, homeschool is chaotic, life is crazy, your house is a mess, and you don't know what end is up. I get it, it happens. But not only should we grow in our understanding of what biblical love truly is, but it should be lived out, right? We should see those actions. And I think especially for Christian women on social media, not only is it important to talk about the depth, the root, the how as believers we can live a lovely life and have this peace and grow in our faith and all of those wonderful things, but you should see it, right? Peter tells us that it is by our conduct that an unbelieving spouse can come to a true saving knowledge of the Lord, because he sees it lived out in you. Our children should see it. Friends, family, whomever watches our videos, right? Those things should be seen. Yes, I love the Lord. I live for the Lord. I do those things. There's a lot internally happening, but I am so filled up inside that it just oozes out of me and can be seen by those that the Lord puts in my path. And so making sure that in the things that we do, his love is seen. Being able to put that biblical love in action, even from the trenches. And I get it, right? Life is chaotic. Things happen. Sometimes you're not feeling it. I get it. And if that's an area that you're like, how do we do that? Let me know down in the comments below. And I'm happy to sit down mama to mama and say, you know what, let's talk about this. If that can be a help, we're happy to do it. But from the content creators all the way to those consuming, we need to make sure that not only are we growing in that knowledge of biblical love, that understanding, but that it is coming out in our actions, from the deepest places we fall to the greatest praises we sing to the Lord. His love should be seen through our lives. Because last but certainly not least, something that I feel like we don't necessarily see Christian women on social media, and I know I'm guilty of this, and I try my best to let this be something, to let it be a priority to me, and in hopes and praying that you watching, you see that through me, but embrace the brokenness. I think we live in a world today that has gotten so far to one side of trying to be perfectly curated, perfectly put together, right? Everything is kind of put through this lens of perfection in hopes that people will, click more, like more, comment more, share more. But I think we need to embrace the brokenness, because that's the truth of life. We live in a sinful, fallen world. We have struggles, we have issues. We're not perfect, right? We don't live in that illusion of a perfect life. We live in the real world. And the more broken we are, the more opportunity for the Lord to shine through. And that's so incredibly important, and something that I don't want to miss out on. I don't want to miss out on standing there, broken cracks and flaws and messes, because it's in that I want to let the Lord shine through me. I want to share my struggles. I want to share how I found myself 17 and pregnant, got married in the middle of a week in Vegas, did everything in my power to ruin my marriage, fought, struggled, claimed to be a Christian, but didn't walk the life. Like, I want to share all of that brokenness, because in all of that brokenness, God was there, and he was working, and he was writing his story through me, through my marriage, through our family. Now, 20 years later, serving the Lord in ministry, my husband leading a church, right? Our children are amazing, right? You see all of these wonderful praises that we can focus on. Those are some great highlight reels, and I'm very thankful for it. But I feel the real power, the real viral content in all of that is through all of our imperfections. Christ now shines. And it is to him that we give all the glory for all of it, because none of this here is about us. It's sharing what he's done through us, but that he would receive that glory. So friends, I truly pray that this can be something here that can bless you today, that you can look at this and go, okay, be it in the stuff you're consuming, if you're another content creator out there, just the example that you are in your life to those that the Lord has put into your path, that we can look at these points and remember what's true, what's real, what's godly, what's honoring, right? What we're all really going through and being faced with, and then that we could live that out as well. And so, of course, if that study looking at true biblical love, being able to understand that, to live it out in our relationships, in our lives, if that's something that you would like to dig into, come and join us. We're doing an amazing Bible reading challenge right now. We're reading the whole Bible cover to cover in 90 days. We've got an amazing community over there. Lots of fun goodies. I will link it down below, or leave me a comment if you want those resources. But let me leave you this next thing over here. You're going to click on this video. I've got some amazing, super, super exciting, intentional loveliness that I want to give you. My free gift, truly here to you. I want it to be something that can bless you in your home. And so I'm going to leave you a little link here on this next page. Click that, give you all the details. You'll get that sent to your inbox right away. I want it to be a blessing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to pour into you in whatever way the Lord might use it. I'll see you on the next video. Bye, friends.